welcome everybody to Speak Dance at Kiosk Radio. Thank you for being with us, either online or on the terrace. I'm Elisa from Dance House Brussels. We have initiated the Do You Speak Dance meetup to explore the links between dance and society, open up dance to other creative fields, and to shed a light on the very many diverse forms of movement. And our topic for today is ancestral moves, body memory, transmission and revival. To talk about it today, I am honored to welcome Audrey Leboutte as our facilitator. Audrey is an artistic director and coordinator, programmer. She moves across scenography, dance, curating, and she facilitates artistic practices that often exist at the margins of institutional visibility, particularly those carried by non-white and non-professional artists. So thank you for being here, Audrey. And I also welcome Stanley and Sarr. Stanley is a regular at Kiosk Radio with his Entwine show. He's a multidisciplinary artist, combining dance, performance, sound, and music programming. So welcome, Stanley. And eventually welcome Moose, choreographer, also dancer, coordinator at DAC, founder and artistic director of Timis, very much involved into street cultures while building bridges between movements and community work. So without further ado, I leave the floor to Audrey. Enjoy the talk.
Thank you. We can shut down the music?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I hope the mic is okay like this? Okay, good. I would like to start with thanking you, Dance House, for the invitation. So Anaïs, Elisa, Laura, Victoria, Bia, and then Mike, which actually is someone I know from my childhood, and Victor from Kiosk Radio. So before we dive into the topics, I'd like, as an introduction, give a bit of explanation to pause on two words. So I'd like to pause on the word ancestral and traditional. So I think what I want to say is like when the mic closer. When we speak about traditional or ancestral dances, what are we really referring to, and what tension or nuances exist between these two words? So my mainly concern is like, are we speaking of ritual dances, those tied into the sacred of the ceremony, or folklorized stages and performance for external gaze? Or are we referring to African dances? And if we speak about African dances, which one? Like, are we speaking about Ndombolo, Sabar, or Pansula? So what I want to say is like the word traditional is often used without clarification, and yet it carries with it representation that are sometimes fixed or even colonial. So how can we reconsider it? Who can define it? And what is being transmitted, consciously or not, when we use it? And so how can we recognize the richness, the constant evolution and the contemporary strengths and these embodied practice, whether they are rooted in ritual, on stage, or in the streets? So ancestral, most of the time, refers to ancestors, to distant origins. It suggests a deep connection with the past, but a past that continues to inform and enrich the present. Unlike traditional, which can sometimes imply something static and folklorized, ancestral evokes a deeper, a more rooted dimension, one that is potentially spiritual or fundamental. Thought grounded in history, an ancestral dance implies that still holds meaning and power today, that it acts as a bridge between past and present. It acknowledges that this practice may unfold in ritual, on stage, or in the street, but always with a link to their original sources. That was my introduction. Sorry. So I'd like now to go on into the presentation. So Mousse and Stanley, can you present yourself, and if you can share with us your cultural heritage, just for us to really understand where you're coming from, and also if you can be generous not only geographically but also where do you come from, movement practice also.
Hi everyone, hi Audrey, hi Mousse, thanks for having us. So my name is Stanley. I'm a Franco-Caribbean artist. I'm originally from the suburb of Paris, in Champigny-sur-Marne, in La Cité du Bois-l'Abbé, in the 94 department. Before meeting dance, I was a gymnast for 10 years. And because it was kind of the path I wanted to dig into, to become athlete. And then I met dance in a camp, and I started to fall in love with the practice and wanted to do that as a job. I directly started with very many different dances because I was introduced to more musical schools. So I had like tap dance, ballet, contemporary jazz, on Saturdays afternoon, very intensively before really deciding to train myself to become a professional. This was a test, and so I feel like I was introduced to dance with all these practices without having really won myself. Although maybe that could be interesting also, when I was in the camp, what I was learning was hip hop. But I'm not a hip hop dancer, but that was actually my first class ever. And I'm also, as I said, Caribbean. I'm also from Guadeloupe and Martinique from my mother's side. And I live in Brussels now since 10 years, and I've been working with different artists and navigating the field here.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mousse. This is my nickname. My real name is Mustafa. So I'm from Belgium, Brussels, and my roots are from Senegal. I started dancing in 2009 by accident. I've always been dancing in my bedrooms or something, but I really started dancing in 2009. I started with the choreography and directly freestyle and battle. And I started with hip hop, by hip hop because it was the easiest way to start. I think I started at Luxembourg Station, so it wasn't in a school or something. I just learned by somebody that just had maybe 1 year more than me in dancing. So that's the way I learned it, and then I think like 4 years after that, I started dancehall. I started dancehall because I felt like more connected to my roots with it, because I think I was looking for something that was meaningful for me. So I started dancehall and understanding my body, that I can use my hips kind of way. And then I met Crump, and that's what I'm really into right now, because I feel like more connected to everything just by crumping. I feel like it's already in my body, and I can mix it with different dance styles or different tradition or ancestral dance movement. um, and yeah, I'm really into it now, and I try to share it with people and to learn and to go deeper in it, because I think what you learn first in Crump is just one part of the deepness there is in this dance style. And voilà, I also try to learn it by doing it in different countries. And every time when you go in another country, you understand that the movement is different in this country, because they have background and roots that they mix with it. Voilà.
Thank you both for sharing. I'm gonna speak about we're gonna talk about the Talawa technique. I'm just gonna give an explanation, maybe a short introduction, because the Talawa technique is so broad. You can go on the website, or you can type on Google Talawa technique, and you will see a website full of information. But so the technique has been developed by Dr. Thomas Prestø from Norway and Trinidad, and he basically has been studying for 23 years dance, or 23 or 27, so a whole life of someone, and has been studied more than 200 dances from Africa and from the Caribbean, so Afro-diasporic dances, and has made like an algebra or codified technique from it. And so this is a dance preparation technique, but also a spirituality, and this bridges traditional ancestral dances and contemporary dances, and there is a lot of position as in a dance technique. So there is, for example, I think for the bird there is 24 position for the bird. A lot. So it's come from I think there is a lot of pulsing, shaking, undulation, trembling, and so on in the technique. So in a very, very short, that's it. But really go on the website and go see videos, because it is very extraordinary. And just saying that Thomas is coming next week to Brussels. But we will talk about it later. So Moose, I have a first question for you. So we've been very lucky to experience together the Talawa technique two times with two different groups in two different constellations. And I wanted to know, my first question is, what does this technique transform or awakened into you and in your personal practice?
It really changes my way of dancing. Like before that, I had a separation between hip-hop, dancehall and crump. So, before dancing, I was choosing in my head, okay, now I'm gonna do some crump and then dancehall or something, or try to put some dancehall steps in my crump, and that was it. But with the technique, and I understood that everything was linked. It came from the same tree, so the link it was easier to feel it in my body. But first I had to unblock one part of my body, and it was my hips, because I use it. I thought I use it, but not really. It was just some exercise focus on the hip, but it wasn't the main part of my body when I was dancing. And now it changed with the technique. I understand more how to make the energy circulate in my body, and that I think it now I feel like natural in my body to use it, and also to jump from one style to another style to another style. It's easier for me now, because it's just dance styles. It's fine. And now what I understood, it's more about movement. More about movement and the way I feel it, and the way I want the energy to be in my body, and voila. But I know that if I do a stomp, I will switch to crump directly. But my crumb can lead to a dancehall movement just by the waves I'm gonna use, or the way I'm gonna how to say it, to fix my head. So yeah, I just think now it's more understandable for me first, how I want to dance and what I can do, without being said, yeah, you're not hip hop enough, you're not dancehall enough, you're not crump enough. I'm all of that in my body, but I need also the knowledge to understand that, and that's what I had in the training.
I think it's interesting because you said you were looking, you went to dancehall because you wanted more hips.
Yeah.
So actually your body knew what you needed, and the technique just opened it.
Yeah.
You tried with styles, but actually it didn't work with styles, but you had it with the knowledge and the technique. So
but I knew there was something that was wrong in my body, and I was sure it was my hips. So dancehall was the first one I used to unblock that. But in dancehall you can use your hips, but they said you can't, because in dancehall it's very complicated what you can do as a male. So yeah, it was difficult for me also to understand what I can do. But yeah, the Tarawa technique helped me a lot to understand that my whole body can dance.
nice, thank you.
Is there some now discussion on gender in dancehall regarding what is possible or not? Since there is, okay. And do you feel like it's changing then the way you are connecting to the style? Yeah.
To be honest, I stopped dancehall, so I don't practice it anymore. But it's coming back now for a few months. But the thing is, in dancehall, you have a real separation between female steps and male steps, or whatever steps. The thing is, you just have to understand the history of the country. When you talk about slavery and everything, and how they use the female part of the man, or how they use the I don't know how to say it in English. I'm gonna change it. They used to rape men in front of their family to make them less powerful for many years, and that's I think what explained that now the men, they don't want to show this part of the body, the female part, if I can say it like this way. And so yeah, when you learn dancehall at the beginning, they all gonna say to you, you can't use your hips. But when you see them dancing, they're using it. Okay, and when you go to people that really studied the dance, they can explain you from back in the days how it was going. Yeah, you use your hips. That just for me, that as a dancer, you also have to look for more information about the dance style you are doing. But at some point, maybe sometimes you blocked. And I didn't want to be to offend the dancehall people, the dancehall culture, so I stopped to understand. Okay, maybe that's the limit that I can do, and then I did the technique, and I understood. Voilà.
And then I have another question for you, Moose. What kind of impact has the technique had on the community you're holding space for?
It had a lot of impact because I think the first one we didn't know what to expect, and I brought I think 10 dancers from my community to the program, and nobody knew what we're gonna do about it, even me. I didn't know.
Trusted me.
Yeah, really, I trusted you, and voila, and we did it, and I know that was crazy for most of them, because I have one story that always comes in my mind when I'm thinking about the first one. We had a dancer called John Z. He's a hip-hop dancer from Cameroon, and he was dancing a lot using his feet his feet to dance. So it was doing quick feet steps and everything. And it's crazy. And this is his dance styles as hip hop. And then I think one time we talked about it, and he told me he didn't know anything about dance from Cameroon. He's not connected to it because I think he never been there, but I'm not sure of that. But I think, and one time he talked to Thomas about it, saying, "Yeah, I don't know anything about dance from Cameroon and everything." And he said, "Yeah, but the way you use your feet when you dance, it's a traditional dance from Cameroon, from this part of the country, and this is the part where John Z coming from." But he didn't know, and he showed him the videos, and it was crazy how it was the same way of using the feet in dancing, and it changed also the way he danced. And the confidence you have as a dancer is the same as for athletes. When you have the confidence, it's totally different the way you move your body. You can see it with the footballers, when they have confidence and when they don't have it, it changes everything.
Yes.
And for me, that was it. And even with Cassie and different people that did the first one, it was, when they came back, you're in a space where you can be 100% who you are. No judgment, no you're too loud, no you are too something. I think that gave them the strength to fight outside of it, to be said for 1 week that you're beautiful, that you dance very well, that you are something. It changed a lot, and I think that's something that they still have with them right now, and that enabled them to do bigger project, bigger moves, bigger everything.
Yeah, just maybe to make it clear, so we did a dance program around the Tarawa technique. So we invited Thomas and the Tabanka Dance Ensemble, and we did a 2 weeks exchange, 1 week in Brussels in cinema, and then 10 days in Leicester in the UK for the LDI festival. And this was like an exclusive group of only people from African descent and Caribbean descent. And then we worked together around the technique for more than 2 weeks. Okay, Stanley. You have a rich trajectory of solo projects, collaborations, and residencies. And how has it, how working with heritage has changed maybe your way to see yourself as a choreographer?
I think working with heritage reconnected me with my origins and the things that you learn that are not from specifically institutions. So therefore, for example, learning how to move my hips with my mom in front of Trice Urban TV shows, or listening to compa, zouk, and see how that can influence the way I dance in my work or other works. Recently, I also worked with a choreographer called Sarr at Sifandrian, and there it was kind of the first time since a long time that I'm working with people that someone has reconnected me also with groove and flow, and just seeing dance as the same way than when you are eating food and like enjoying with people, and that it's something that you should just how to say, be grateful for and not like be too hard on it, and that time is gonna make things just like not better, but you can appreciate it more. And it really made me more at ease with then creating my work, and not searching for too intellectual stuff when the body has already registered it since a long time, and not only from what I'm learning now in the present days, but also like in my heritage, and not just also my family but my ancestors, and that it's something that passes on and on. Yeah.
Nice. I just feel very like how it's moved you.
Yeah, it was really yeah, it was really healing as a process, and yeah, it was really healing if I have to compare with other projects that I did after school and in so many levels, and I think it really helped me to then yeah, as I said, trust the process for whatever I'm gonna do after and whoever I'm gonna collaborate with also.
Mhm. And d- did practical tools emerge from the residency?
Mm, I think there is a lot, but I mean, now I think the relation to orality, words, and how you can and how your body is a vector of expression was something that was more a discovery for me, like in terms that it was challenging, and then to do that on stage, then really yeah, crafted new strategies. But I think there were so many practices we've done that were just super. I'm gonna use the term normal in the sense that it's just going with the flow and listening music and connecting with rhythm or jamming or like things that I think I actually learned dance through instead of working with the thematic directly of the piece or again the research question. So I don't know if I can name different practices, but I can definitely feel that there were another way to see creation and also see creation as working with collaborators as a real collaboration and co-creation and not also creator and dancers in service of. And that was something also I think the idea of transmission is something that she really works with, and that's what also I felt, and I felt that it helped me then for my work that I just premiered in May to transmit also my own corporality or things to my collaborators and the way I just work with them. Yeah.
Can you give us more information about your recent work then?
Yeah, so it's called Spine of Desire, Wounds Without Tears, Out of One Skin in Diamonds and Shit. It's a it's a very long title because I wanted like a poetic title that kind of is contradictory also. Like for example, Wounds Without Tears, so we have a lot of wounds, but we don't show the how the consequences, or like we don't show the emotion of it in real life. This is just an example, but it's a piece, a trio with Mamadou Wagé, who is a French Malian dancer and choreographer, and with Lily Brieux Nguyen, who is a French Vietnamese dancer, choreographer, dramaturge. And we've been working on since the last 2 years on this work regarding the place of care in the world, but also in the performing art field, and also then in creation, and how to create a safe space in a creation, and which strategies are we going to employ to get there. And now we just premiered it in May, and things have completely changed. Like in the beginning, I was saying to a friend outside today that it was very more around radical softness and about kind of the stereotype of what could be a performance about care. And throughout the process, we also met like the reality of life, and that it would also be weird to show just a side of what care could be. And I think we also wanted to express some rage and darkness and some more a roughness that we are also living in life, and that's what we did. So it's kind of a mix of all of that, and at the end kind of also showing what really matters, and that what matters also is to celebrate and to have joy and be in collectivity and solidarity. Yeah, and it was amazing to collaborate on this work.
Nice. Looks very, very interesting. I think we can have a whole talk about this, like strategies of care and how can we implement that in residencies and
Completely, and not even in creation. I think it should be. That's the thing. In the beginning, we were really busy with trying too much to show through dance what are the technique we can use, and I think we were like, okay, this is also a show and not everyone is going to catch that, so we need to find a narration into it and something where we can leave the stage, leave this world, like something more imaginative. But definitely I think it could be interesting to really open discussions around that and what every spheres is actually creating, because not only this piece is creating strategies, because everyone is different. So I'm also very curious on how everyone creates different ways to relate to this topic, and or how they save themselves also from scenarios.
Yes, thank you. Moose, maybe for the next, can you talk us about unlearning and what it does mean in the body? Oops.
So unlearning, it's very difficult. When you've been in a dance style or dance culture for a long time, your body is used to dance in a way and move in a way, and then you go to to learn something else, and you have to unlearn in your body, but I don't know, it feels like it's automatic, the way you dance, because it is in your muscles, so it's automatic, and then you have to change it, and you have to go through a phase where you dance like somebody that can dance, and that's very difficult as a professional dancer to go in this part, in this journey, because it's also for your ego. It's like, oh, I'm not good. I'm not a good dancer, and that's something I had the 2 times I did the Tarawa technique. It was really like, okay, I've been dancing for 15 years or something, and I'm not able to do this move, and it's supposed to be in my blood, as they say, but nothing came to me naturally, so I had to really work on it, and it's very difficult also to understand something new. You have to cut it in different parts and really dig into it, and that's also, I think it's easier to learn something than unlearn. It takes more time, more knowledge also. You need more knowledge of your body to unlearn one move that you know. But I think as a dancer, if you want to be better, you have to go through this journey to improve yourself. I think so.
Thank you. Stanley, joy is often tangible in clubbing spaces. You, if I'm not wrong, doing also voguing and as a DJ. So, are you conscious about the powerful act of joy? Is it something you take with you when you're performing, as I say, as a DJ or as a dancer?
Yeah, completely. When I was in school, I had a moment where I was reflecting on the way in school sometimes we are so busy with trying to search for a practice or something that you can then later work with outside, that I realized that I was doing less thing through the spectrum of joy and amusement. So I started to really question the place of amusement in contemporary dance, because that's where I really went into in my studies. So it is now completely something that I work with, like joy. also because I feel it kind of removes some pressure in how you are connected with the professional field, and how you sell your work, how you talk about your work, and how you, I don't know, it really just to think about it as just is it's my passion and it's not just my work, really helped me. But I also, like, I think not only joy, I think it's also just all the intention I have through these diverse practices is also very much just a consequence of me wanting to create new languages, or like just be part of people that really create these new languages and these new legacies that we all create collectively. And it's something that I think about often, and I don't, like, I think a lot of people know, but there's this writer and poet Edouard Glissant that created this term called creolization, which is when different cultures meet each other and then create a new one. And I think for me this is a consequence also of joy, because I'm sure, like, it comes from your first interest for a practice, therefore your passion, and that creates something new, or like so I feel like it's something that I go with, but I wouldn't say this is like my practice is joy for sure, but it's just something that, you know, I also think like the Black community is just a joyful community, and that's just natural in us with everything that we go through. I think this is just like
ancestral.
Exactly, you know. Yeah.
Thank you. Also, I'm gonna do like this. Even if you both move between like intimate spaces, clubs, circles, studios, intentional community spaces, and then public spaces, festival institutions, like how do you navigate the transition between those spaces? Do you have some rituals for yourself, or do you prepare yourself in a certain way, or
to go from one to another?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough question. Do you want to answer first, maybe?
we can go to another if you want, because I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, this one is complicated.
Okay, so we keep this one for a new talk.
Okay.
Okay, we need to talk about this one. Okay.
But we can talk about it, but I think I need more time to dig into it.
Yes. I will just call Elisa, if you can come, because I'd like to put some music, but your computer has been shut up.
I try to answer the question.
We can speak about something else on the way.
Okay.
We can speak about values.
Oh.
And legitimacy. Like, my question is, what do we lose and what do we gain when we move a dance from a sacred intimate space into one public presentation space?
Oh. So I will talk about Crump because I'm really into it. So in Crump you have the sessions, you have the battles, and some other stuff, and you have also all the pieces when we go on stage, and voila. What we are going to do in the sessions is completely different than what we do on stage. On session, the people who came to the session are invited to be in it. They are part of the community, they're part of the culture, so they know the code and the value that we bring into it. So when you are in the session, you can do whatever you want. Even if you try something new and you fall or something, it's okay. I mean, we're gonna laugh, yeah, for course, but it's okay. The way also you're gonna react to somebody else dancing is true. You know, it's really what your body feel. You know, and that's something that I really feel it's beautiful. Like, you can have a beginners come in a session, and they're gonna be welcomed. We're gonna push him to give everything that he has, and it's the same for someone who danced for 10 years. If you are coming in the session, everybody gonna scream for you, hype you, give you the energy to continue to push, to really be true to yourself. That's why we hype. We don't hype just for you to think that you are the best. You are good, very good. But it's also just to push you to give everything and to be proud of yourself when you go out, and to be really honest with you when you dance. And that's something that you can do on stage, because on stage, for me, you vulnerable. Non, ça se dit pas en anglais ça.
Yeah, vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable. Oh yeah, anglais tout ça. So yeah, you don't know how the public gonna answer to your movement, how they're gonna react to the message you try to give to them. Sometimes when you dance in Crump, you're always surrounded by noise. People are screaming, they are laughing, they are talking. That's part of the culture. But when you're on stage in a place that's not used to have Crump on stage, it's just silent. And for me, silence is very violent as a street dancer. It's like, yeah, what am I? Are we in a zoo or something? Are we exchanging something, or I'm just the one who's giving something in exchange of money or something? And I don't like it at all. That's why when I dance on stage, and if I have the choice, I like to have the public on stage with me, because this way they understand there is no screen between us, there is no barrier between us. We can talk. And what I'm giving to you, I hope that you're giving it back to me, and that's the way the energy has to be. That's why even in the battles I organize in Brussels dance, we dance in cipher. So even the audience is close to the dancers, and you have people all around the dancers, in the back, in the front, high, everywhere. You have somebody that can just give you the energy. At some point when you dance, you can be loose into your movement, and then you're gonna see somebody scream at you, yeah, you can do it, oh, no, you're the best. Boom, you go back, you know. And yeah, that's really what I love about this. But on stage, or for, like, I did some opera also, and what you give is not 100% of what you can do. They don't understand what you are giving. They have some codes coming from ballet or contemporary dancing that is not adapt to our dance style or the way we have to warm up to. Sometimes you have people that are telling you, yeah, you have to do 100% 10 times, repeat it. It's not possible for a crumper. It's possible, but it's exhausting, you know. And because you don't know anything about crump, you don't understand that. So yeah, it changed from a space to another one. And for me, you have to be able as a dancer to have your armor, yeah, around you, shield. And bring and to your shield, and to bring it on stage with you. Otherwise, you won't be able to continue for a long time.
I agree with everything that was said, and I had another experience through it, because I made a solo that talks about identity called The Mirror Stand in 2021, and there were one scene in the piece that I removed, which was a moment where I was imagining myself voguing in my room, and so I basically transposed that moment on the institutional stage. And I remember I just did it for 2 nights, and I never did it again after. Wow. Despite the fact that the community was there, so there were people from the ballroom scene, and they were hyping me up also, and they were understanding. But I think I never felt so out of context in my whole life. And I don't think it was wrong of me, because I think I was, in a way, giving back and giving credit for something that has helped my trajectory as a dancer. But I really could not, I don't know, I just directly felt it. I felt guilt even, like I felt objectified, and without reaction from people, you know, it was just naturally there. So I gently removed that from the stage, and I just thought of it as like, how can I bring more the energy of that space that is part of me and is part of the community, and how can I transpose it there without using the physical material of it. But I think that was my experience with putting something from other dance styles into a space that is actually rigid and that is not so easy to fluidify, because even if you try, even if there is no reaction that is negative to it, there's still like the space holds, like as we talk about body ancestral, I think there's also like architecturally the spaces also hold the history, and so therefore the energy that inhabit this space is extremely linked to how you might then feel. I mean, now I'm losing my sentence, but I think, I think I felt that pressure, and I decided to remove it. And I think now it's a big question for me, like how to put into visibility in spaces that create an economy things that are as important as other styles or concepts. I like to find new strategies to do it.
Yes. Wow, it's intense to really remove something.
Yeah.
I propose now like a short music intervention. So I will put. So we found the first one. Let's go find the second one. Music. So this one. Alors, c'est un extrait d'une musique Kumina, qui est une musique que j'ai reçue de Thomas Presteux. C'est une musique qu'on utilise souvent pour faire les exercices de pelvic works, ce qui est un exercice basique, on va dire, dans la talawa technique. Et je voudrais lire un court extrait sur lequel on parlera juste après. C'est un extrait qui vient d'un livre et qui dit donc « Durant la plus grande partie de son histoire, la musique des marrons jamaïcains a été conservée à l'écart des oreilles et des yeux étrangers. Comme la plus grande part de la culture marronne, ces traditions musicales sacrées ont été considérées comme secrètes et n'ont pas été partagées avec les non-marrons. Ce protectionnisme remonte à la période dans l'histoire des marrons où leur survie dépendait de la capacité à conserver une information qui, si elle tombait dans les mauvaises mains, pouvait se retourner contre eux et être utilisée pour les détruire. Une des conséquences de ce secret est que la musique marronne n'a eu que très peu d'influence sur les autres régions de la Jamaïque et du monde. Il y a cependant une exception à cela, c'est la musique Kumina. Le Kumina est une tradition spirituelle et musicale apparentée au Congo et pratiquée par des Jamaïcains non marrons vivant dans les parties orientales de l'île. Non loin des communautés marronnes, le Kumina a eu une influence considérable sur la musique populaire urbaine jamaïcaine, contribuant par exemple à la tradition rastafarienne de persécution, Nyambini, au reggae et même à la plus récente musique dancehall. Au fil du temps, marron Kumina ont beaucoup échangé. Le résultat a été l'émergence d'un style mixte marron Kumina appelé tambu. Ce style qui par ailleurs fait partie du répertoire des chants légers de la région de Motown. Les Marrons ont aussi apporté au répertoire communal quelques-uns de leurs chants, dont certains ont ainsi intégré la culture populaire jamaïcaine plus globale. Quelques-uns ont aussi intégré le répertoire du National Dance Theatre Company of Jamaica de Kingston. C'est un extrait de musique marronne de la Jamaïque par Kenneth Bibley. So, it's a small text. Yes, you can shut up. Thank you. It's a small text explaining about the origins of the communal music, which we've just heard, and just saying that this music was made by the Maroons people, so the people hiding in the Jamaican forest, and that it has been kept as a secret, and then it's opened it up a little bit, and then become something brought in the culture, going from to reggae and also to dancehall. So my question is, how do we make things visible without exposing them to a new form of extraction or appropriation?
For me, we need gatekeepers. As I can see in the street dance that I do, we try with the OGs or people who are more experienced in the dance styles or in the dance culture. We try to see how people use it outside of the cipher, outside of the sessions. Sometimes you can see on the internet that you have someone who are not in the culture that are using crump on stage, paid for that and everything, but she's or he's not in the community. So we're gonna go after this person. We're gonna publicly said you are not in the crump culture, so you can't use it. You are not in this culture. You don't know the values, and the struggle that behind it. So you cannot just put it on stage and think that it's okay. That's the way I think at some point we lose hip hop, because the money and the people who came in it, because they saw that there is they just put capitalism on it. They use it, they put it on the screen and everything. We lose the essence of hip hop, and that's something we try to avoid with crump. Like, if you're gonna see that at the next date that you're gonna have, we're gonna come and tell you you're not
Hello?
allowed to do it. Don't do it. And if you're a real crumper, now we're gonna dance and we're gonna call you out by dancing. That's something we do in Belgium, but that's something that crumpers do everywhere in the world to keep it to ourselves. So now I think people know that they can't use it the way they just want it. We are here for that, and that's something that we have to keep in our mind, that we are the gatekeepers and we have to say no. The power of no, saying you can't do that without our approval.
Okay, so time is running. So sorry, we will finish about the no. So about the protecting the culture and how to make it exist. People can learn, but they have to learn also the culture going with it, if they want to perform it or if they want just to dance it. So thank you to Do You Speak Dance for this edition. So it was too short, I think, because we want to discuss a lot. Thank you for Kiosk Radio also, and there is Brussels Dance next week at AB, organized by Timmy's, and also Thomas Presto coming on the 10 for a workshop. And Stanley also has been part of a publication in the Hout magazine, I think, and I suppose will tour next season also with different works. So just follow their Instagram pages. And thank you to Do You Speak Dance and Kiosk Radio.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you, Audrey.